Let's do it.
Hey guys, welcome to this week #TFR Motivation Monday team call. We're super excited for all of you that are joining us, and for those of you that tried to join in on Facebook, we're sorry, but they weren't playing nice, and so we weren't able to interface the way we wanted to. So for those that weren't able to get on the call tonight, you guys can always get notified when we upload new content just by going and subscribing to both of our YouTube and SoundCloud channels. It's Team Freedom Reigns. Go look for us there and subscribe so you get notified when we put up new information. All right, again, this is the last Monday of January. Can you believe that already? All right, so that means it's time to finish this month strong. I hope that you've taken advantage of the first few weeks of this month and are ready now to capitalize on those seeds that you have sown. So first of all, make sure that you double check your personal orders. You want to make sure that your personally enrolled distributors and customers have all of their orders gone through this month. Sometimes things happen with credit cards. You want to make sure that they receive their amazing biohacking products. I know I wouldn't want to go without mine.
No way.
And then, of course, educate on the importance of subscription orders to those people that just do spot orders. First of all, they get discounted pricing. Second of all, free shipping. It's a big deal, right? Not to mention your leveraged income is dependent on the recurring monthly subscription orders of your customers. You also want to make sure that you've got the proper personal volume amount in order to get paid. Minimum is 100. And to get max commissions paid out to you, 200 in personal volume needs to be under your name, right?
Right.
Now, you can check the striking distance report for rank advancements in your group, because the way that you truly rank advance at the end of the month, these last few powerful days, is by helping other people that are part of your organization accomplish their goals for the month. So use that striking distance report. Also use the new enrollment report. I love using this report because it shows you who's been in action this month and who you should be reaching out to because they're excited about their business. Now, because you've been working your business in January, you should be able to follow up these last few days and set appointments if they're not ready to just pull the trigger, right? If they're not ready to become a biohacker or to join your business, then you should be setting up appointments in February for the people you're talking to in January. Make sure that you're promoting the free Axio with the Try Synergizer stacks. This is for all new accounts, and you too get 5 points for the Road to Convention promotion. And then just keep in mind, if there is minutes left in the month, you don't stop. Keep working. Close out the month strong.
Hammer down.
Right? And so we were just talking about those points that you get for enrolling new customers and distributors on the Try Synergizer stack. Well, that's all part of the Road to Convention promotion that the company announced earlier this month. So basically, everybody can participate. You earn points for all new enrollments, and there's no limit to how many points you can get for new customers and new distributors. You also earn points by rank advancing, helping your personal enrolled distributors rank advance, and maintaining those rank advancements. You will achieve and obtain these prizes and money prizes at convention, so make sure that you get registered to attend. Qualification period is January 1st through June 30th. Sorry, blah, blah,
We'll
blah.
get it eventually.
I will get it out, I promise. So again, this is the way you earn points: selling product, rank advancing, maintaining rank, okay? If you notice, you get double the points for maintaining your rank than you do rank advancing, and there's points for the enroller of the people that rank advance on both. So super excited about that. Now, free shipping, this also just started this month. This is what your requirements are. If you're in the United States and have an active subscription, your subscription ships for free. Plus, if you need something throughout the month and need to do a drop order, every drop order is going to ship for free as well. This is awesome stuff, guys, because it's not just for us here in the United States. There is a threshold for every country that we are actively doing business in, that if you meet that threshold, your orders too will ship for free. This is a big bonus, and this is something that us here in the field have been asking for a long time, and LifeVantage Corporation has listened to our requests. Now, going on top of that promotion that I mentioned earlier and closing out the month strong, when you have a new person enroll as a customer or a distributor and they get the Try Synergizer packets in their order, they're going to receive a Cherry Axio for free That's awesome. I love cherry
I
Axio,
know.
especially hot during the winter time. Now you earn 5 points for every single person that's a new account that comes in on that Tri-Synergizer earning the free Axio. So not only do they get the free Axio valued at $60.99 retail price, right? You are going to get 5 points towards the Road to Convention promotion. That's 5 times the amount that you would normally get for enrolling a customer with this volume amount. So 5 times the points. So take advantage of this promotion. It's amazing. Plus, when you purchase 2 of the new Tri-Synergizer sachet packets, that's 30 of the Tri-Synergizer, so a month's supply in these convenient packets to be able to carry with you. You're going to get 30 mini brochures for free. For you to be able to share this information easily. You can carry them in your pocket, in your purse, in your wallet. Just have them with you all the time to help share the information on basically our superhero set of products, the Tri-Synergizers. Now the regional tours, they've also announced all of the locations, and on your website, you can find the dates. So make sure that you go and find the dates of all of the regional tours that are near you. Plan to attend at least one of them. The company is doing this as an amazing benefit to us so that we can stay in the field working our businesses, and yet they are going to come to us. It's only $49 to register for these events, and it's going to be, I mean, if you're an elite distributor, there is going to be a dinner on Friday night with special invitation to that dinner. So I don't know if there's going to be promotions around other people being able to attend those dinners on the Friday night, but Saturday is going to be breakout sessions 9 to 12 and 2 to 5, and it's only $49. So please take ownership of your business, take ownership of your calendar, and get these calendared into your schedule so that you can be earning, learning, and just becoming the most professional network marketer that you can with some amazing people. Have fun doing it, right? So I'm super excited about the call tonight because we've been really diving in to what can help us live our most optimal lives. And so we've started on this whole journey. We had the opportunity to listen to Ryan Goodwin when we were up in Salt Lake. And so we decided that tonight would be a really great opportunity for the information that Dondi's going to share with you. Is what it's done for me personally is it's built my belief, first of all, in biohacking. It's solidified what we have in our hands as being at the forefront of biohacking with these amazing products that we have. But it's also empowered me to think even bigger in how I can have the most optimal health that I can possibly have. So I am really excited, guys, because Dondi is going to be bringing the meat and potatoes of this call to you tonight. I'm sure that I'll add a little bit here and there just because, you know, it's kind of who you are.
And we're doing this together.
But we're super excited to be able to share with you this information. Biohacking with Nutrigenomics. Basically, it's do-it-yourself biology. So go ahead and take it away.
Well, super excited. And let me, as Marcy said, or she kind of alluded to, what made this specific training tonight possible is kind of a mind shift that we've had recently, but have been actually kind of working on for quite some time. And being a chiropractor, my background, I would say is not the typical conventional medicine, taught to think out the box, think more naturally, think more holistically, think more vitalistically. And so I've been kind of trained that way for the last 25 plus years. But it was a kind of a great proving ground to come into LifeVantage and truly understand from the scientific side what we had our hands on. But as Marcy said, we were in Salt Lake City last week for I said bulletproof because I'm thinking bulletproof right now, for the red carpet program, having some industry leaders that came in to take a look at LifeVantage. And it's that experience, if you guys remember from last week's call, when we talked about it and we had those amazing leaders that shared their experience. It's a higher caliber of person that comes through corporate headquarters, and all 3 of them, a gentleman named Gavin, a gentleman named Dave, and a gentleman named Joe, they all asked pretty much the same questions, and hard questions, deep questions of Darren Jensen, our CEO, Justin Rose, our Chief Sales Officer, and specifically what we want to talk tonight about is Ryan Goodwin, our Chief Marketing Officer. And they all asked Ryan specifically, why are you here? What is it about this company that you chose to come here considering your background? And Ryan being a biohacker, I had heard the story before, but I hadn't ever heard it put quite this way. And he said he had already accepted the position as the chief marketing officer, and he was in the conference room that we happened to be in while he was answering this question. He said, I was sitting right at this table, and 2 times in one meeting, I lost my train of thought, and I had to ask the people that I was talking to, the other C-suite executives, what was I talking about? The first time he goes, oh yeah, and he kind of picked back up. But the second time, when they reminded him of where he was, he couldn't even get back to where he was and had to change the subject. And he said for the first time in his life, that happened not once, but twice in the same meeting, a board meeting with the chief executives of the company. And a little backstory about Ryan, and you've heard him mention this from stage a couple times at Elite Academy, is he has Parkinson's and Alzheimer's in his past, in his family, on his mother's side, deeply. His mother, his grandmother, his aunts, and they're suffering from Alzheimer's. And Ryan's mother, I think she's in her late 60s, early 70s, and she doesn't even know who he is. So they have no conversational relationship. And as this happened to him, all he thought about was his experience, his genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's because it runs deeply in his family. And he said it freaked him out. And he says, I was on Protandim NRF2. I was drinking Axio. I was taking Protandim NRF1. This was before NAD came out. He says, I was already biohacking my body and I was still having this issue. And so I say that, he said that so that I can share, to prove the point here and to share with you, our products aren't the be all end all. They make major differences, but you may find somebody that was in Ryan's position. And so he heard about a book called Headstrong from Dave Asprey. And if you guys know, if you don't know who Dave Asprey is, if you've ever heard of Bulletproof Coffee or Bulletproof Products, or Headstrong, or a couple other books that he's written, the Bulletproof Diet. Dave Asprey is a very, very wealthy Silicon Valley, out-of-the-box thinker. And he wrote this book called Headstrong, which talks about biohacking your brain. The cover says the bulletproof plan to activate untapped brain energy to work smarter and think faster in just 2 weeks. So Ryan put this to the test. He read the book. He consumed it. He was infatuated with it. And he started noticing differences within a couple days. And after 14 days, his word was, he was kick acidry. He was ramping up his kick acidry. And all he was doing was making some minor changes. And he recommended the book. I wrote it down. I actually bought it there while we were in the meeting. Amazon, by the time we got back a couple days ago, it was here. And I got the Audible version, literally ordered it right in that meeting. Well, we listened to it. Marcy and I were listening to it. And when he's talking about biohacking and taking control of his own biology, I was like, wow, he sounds like a LifeVantage distributor. And he started using the same vocabulary words, Nutrigenomics, nootropics, however you want to pronounce it, and biohacking and the aging code. And then he started getting into pathways and talking about oxidative stress all the time and mitochondria and sirtuins and I'm thinking, wait a second. This is a book that in March, it'll be 3 years old. He has nothing to do with LifeVantage. He's not a corporate executive at LifeVantage. He's just implementing biohacking techniques. And I mentioned this a little while ago, biohacking, and for some of you, it may not be a term that you like. You may actually dislike the word biohacking because it's associated with hacking, like computer hackers, which usually ends in a bad thing. But hacking, the word hacking is just finding a more efficient pathway or a more efficient strategy, or cutting some steps out of something to optimize the efficiency of something. So bio meaning life, hacking kind of figuring out a workaround or a shorter pathway. So yeah, thank you for that reminder. So we're listening to Ryan talk about the fact that he's already on Nerf 2, he's already on Nerf 1, he's already drinking Axio. All of these things benefit the brain, but he was still forgetting what he was saying. And even when reminded of what he was saying, he still couldn't get back to it. And his initial thought, his brain is degrading. He's early onset Alzheimer's. Well, what he found as he was reading this book, and what we found as we listened to and read the book too, biohacking, you can literally biohack your brain. And here's something interesting about mitochondria. The word mitochondria was probably we're not even all the way through the book yet. We've probably have heard it 500 times. And I'm not exaggerating. At least 500 times has he mentioned mitochondria and oxidative stress and the theories of aging and controlling your own biology and all of these things. And I love the term do-it-yourself biology. And as he's talking about this, what he said about mitochondria produces ATP. And if you guys remember from ninth grade chemistry, or ninth grade biology, it's the powerhouse of the cell. Fun fact, the average cell in the human body has about 1,000 to 2,000 individual mitochondria in the cell. The brain, on the other hand, and the heart and the retina, the eyes, have about 10,000 mitochondria per cell, which is why the results are so profound so quickly when you implement these things. And so I'm going to go into a couple different strategies, but what he was talking about in the book is optimizing mitochondria function. There's a pathway for that. We have a product for that. And he was mentioning in the book, he never mentioned our products, but he mentioned how you can hack the mitochondria and how you can hack the NRF2 pathway to reduce oxidative stress, and how you can hack the sirtuins to increase NAD. And I'm thinking, he's just validating the tri-synergizer approach. And then he got into neurochemistry and talking about neurotransmitters, specifically dopamine and serotonin and adrenaline and noradrenaline and epinephrine and norepinephrine. And he was talking about hacking the brain. And I was like, we have a drink for that. And as he get more and more and more descriptive, and there was a couple times that Marcy and I were kind of looking at each other, it was getting really scientific. And we listened to it at about 1.25 to 1.5 speed, the audible version of it. It was going pretty fast. But I just remember as he was going more and more and more into it, and the deeper the layers, I was just getting more and more taking ownership of what we're doing here at LifeVantage. And here's the point, is that biohacking, the term has really only been around about 10 years. Nutrigenomics has only been around as a term for about 10 years. But you may have heard about it first when you joined LifeVantage. But it's not only being spoken about in LifeVantage circles. This is a global movement. And I alluded to, when we had Dr. Nancy Bryan on a couple weeks ago, I alluded to the fact that I was born and raised in Northern California, Silicon Valley, the technology capital of the world. It's also the biohacking capital of the world, because people with millions and millions and millions of dollars are spending millions and millions of dollars to figure out how to hack the biology of the human body. And they're doing, as I told you, I wasn't looking for them. Just driving around on the roadways a few weeks ago in Northern California, I saw 6 businesses with the word genomics in their name on the side of these big buildings next to Yahoo and Facebook and all the other technology brands that you could think of, Apple, all of these things coming out of Silicon Valley. Well, why are they studying it so much there? Why is Google and Apple executives combining in their company Calico Labs? Why are they spending hundreds of millions of dollars on biohacking, researching biohacking? But they're using pharmacogenomics. They're using pharmaceuticals to hack the body. And there's always going to be side effects. Nutrigenomics, as you heard Dr. Nancy Bryan talk about, is a much more, number one, biology appreciating and biology endorsing way of doing it, because you're honoring the human biology, not tampering with it, which always creates side effects, whether you have lower your blood pressure or not, or whatever the ultimate outcome is. So my point here, and I'm going to switch to another slide because I'm going to start talking to you guys and showing you guys examples of biohacking all over the world. It's kind of like when you got your first car and you got behind the wheel of your first car. Maybe you had wanted that car for a long time. Me, I bought what I could afford, my very first car, but I noticed, and it was a Datsun B210. And I remember I didn't want a Datsun B210. I could just afford a Datsun B210. Never heard of one, never saw one before. And then as soon as I'm driving it, I see them freaking everywhere. This is way, but they don't even, it's Nissan now and they don't make them anymore. But back in 1978, I saw them everywhere. And now it's interesting how when you start hearing about biohacking and nutrigenomics and hacking the aging code, when you're paying attention outside of LifeVantage, you're going to start seeing it and hearing it everywhere. So let me give you a couple examples. We can go to the next slide. Is it? Yeah. So biohacking in technology. In fact, I'm using a biohacking technology right now. My blue blocker glasses. Mine are orange. Hers are clear, but they're blocking the blue ray. Remember, 10,000 mitochondria per cell in the retina. That's why you want to protect your eyes, because UV exposure, fake lighting. So what is it? Fluorescent lighting? All of that sucks the energy out of your cells. It absorbs and consumes ATP, which is where fatigue comes in. When you burn up as much more ATP than your body can replace per cell, you start to get fatigued. Mental fatigue, visual fatigue, cardiac fatigue. The three most common things that people are suffering from. So technology, we've got these things called Fitbits. It's a technology way of biohacking your body, checking your temperature, checking your pulse rate, checking your heart rate, checking your sleeping habits. Marcy and I look at how we slept. Every morning, we look at how many minutes and hours we had in REM sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, and awake, and we get a score. It's a biohacking score. The goal is to get higher and higher score to get better and better sleep. Well, red light technology is amazing what it does for the mitochondria and ATP production. So you can increase, there's two ways to get to optimal mitochondria expression. Preserve the mitochondria from burning excess ATP, like with blue blocker glasses and red light therapy and proper nutrition, or ramp up the mitochondria production of ATP, like we do wonderfully with our Protandim Nerf 1. Thank you very much. So there's technology all over and this is just 3 examples. It's everywhere. Books, education, and what you can't see underneath our picture is conferences. This is in a couple months in March, the 7th annual Biohacking Conference, where people from all over the world are going to be in Beverly Hills, California, talking about the global push for biohacking. In Helsinki, Finland, in June, it's going to be the 6th annual Biohacker Summit, where people from all over the world, mainly Europe, in this one are going to be descending. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of speakers, all talking about the same thing, biohacking in different ways. And like I said, books, the book, The Tools of the Titan by Tim Ferriss. He just talked to and interviewed lots and lots of people that are spending lots and lots of money on biohacking secrets. And they're all using kind of the same thing. And Tim Ferriss, as well as Dave Asprey, they live in the Bay Area. They live in the Silicon Valley. So they've got high access to these people and they're learning lots of things. Like I said, it used to be the technology capital of the world with .com, and it still is. It's also the biohacking capital of the world because they've got Stanford University there. They've got Berkeley University there. They've got private labs like Calico Labs funded by Google and Apple executives. And they've got millions and millions of dollars to study this stuff. So this is where some of the most amazing breakthroughs are coming from. How about lifestyle habits? You've heard me talk about in the last couple of years, cold water plunging. It's amazing what it can do for the cardiovascular system and oxygen transportation through the blood. Also, nutrigenomics, which is a big thing of what we do. Our products are based on nutrigenomics, but there's people that don't know about our products, but they do very well know about organic fruits and vegetables, and they're choosing different colors of vegetables. They're choosing the dark green, leafy blue vegetables and fruits for certain phytonutrients because it accelerates the production of mitochondria, which produce ATP. So there's people that are choosing nutrition. What is nutrigenomics? It's nutrition and natural compounds on how they affect our gene structure. So people that are doing this, and I'm giving you examples of groups to tap into, people that are vegans, people that are foodies, people that love organic fruits and vegetables, go to your Whole Foods and your Sprouts and things like that in the farmer's market and strike up conversations with those people. Have a shirt that says, I'm a biohacker, because biohacking is going to get more questions than NRF2 activated. I'm just saying, NRF2 is a very specific pathway in a very specific way of biohacking, but biohacking is a general term. Under my shirt, or under my sweatshirt right now, I have a shirt that says biohacking because people want to know what it is. NRF2, they don't know what it is, and they usually won't ask because it doesn't kind of make sense or remind them of anything they've heard before. So capitalize on what people are already doing. Listen to podcasts. There's one on here that I listen to all the time I didn't mention. It's called Quick Brain, Kwik, Brain by Jim Quick. Unbelievable. It's all about the brain and biohacking the brain. But Joe Rogan, many of you know who he is from the UFC announcer, but this dude has one of the most popular podcasts on the entire internet, and he routinely has people on there that are biohackers. In fact, if you understand what NAD is, and one of the biggest, loudest proponents of NAD out there, Dr. David Sinclair, Joe Rogan had him on his podcast, and it's one of the most viewed and listened to episodes out there. Over 7 million views on YouTube. And so many different listeners to that because they want to know, what is this sirtuin theory? What is this NAD thing? And Joe Rogan, classic biohacker, Bulletproof Radio with Dave Asprey, and again, Kevin Rose shows. These are just 3 of the most popular podcasts. And like I said, Quick Brain too. So the thing is it's out there. The information is out there. It's being talked about. It's being consumed like crazy. This is the book, Headstrong. And you can see it there on your screen too, by Dave Asprey. You guys, it'll blow you away. I would even recommend this book, some of the parts of this book, for prospects. Because once they hear what we're talking about, maybe a prospect who's come to an opportunity meeting but hasn't yet made a decision, if they read this book, I guarantee you they're going to join your team, because I'm not making any money back guarantees. But the likelihood of it, because we are at the forefront. What are we? We are at the forefront of nutrigenomics. We are also at the forefront of biohacking. You don't believe me? How many of you heard biohacking for the first time right here at LifeVantage? But look, it's the 7th annual biohacking conference. They didn't just change the name a year ago. It's been the biohacking conference for at least 7 years, but they were thinking about it well before that probably. So the key is you might not like biohacking. You might not, as a name, you might not understand nutrigenomics, but I guarantee you, if you look around, you'll see it everywhere. From podcasts, some of the most popular podcasts, some of the greatest selling books in the space of human performance is relating to biohacking. Some of the conferences out there that have that are attracting the most people are coming from biohacking, but it's also in the scientific community. I want to read you guys something. And if you've seen most of our videos from corporate, you might have heard from this guy. He's when they were talking about aging and they were interviewing people on the street if they wanted to live to be 1,000 years old. And some of them said, no, unless my friends and my family could live that long with me, I really wouldn't want to. Actually, what I'm realizing is I highlighted it in yellow, and when I've got yellow glasses on, I can't see my highlighting. That was interesting.
Right? Orange on orange.
Yeah. So I want to share with you. Where is it? I highlighted this, what this guy, and you've heard his voice. All right. Sorry, guys, but this is going to be pretty impactful because it's what people are saying about, here it is, Dr. Aubrey de Grey. He's out of England, and he says he's a gerontologist. So this guy is obviously a biologist, but he's a gerontologist. He studies aging. A gerontologist is somebody who specializes in studying the aging of the human body. He said, gerontologist Aubrey de Grey claims people will be able to age or live to the age of 1,000, okay? And he says, in fact, the first person, this is according to Dr. Aubrey de Grey, the first person who will live to be 1,000 has already been born. Now just think about that. The only way you can do that is by biohacking, because what we realize and what pharmacology and what drugs and pharmaceuticals have proven to us, the people that are dying younger and younger are the ones that are on the most drugs. So the pharmaceuticals is not the answer. Biohacking is the answer. And he went on to say this, that this is an engineering negligible senescence. Senescence is the study and how this is where we get into sirtuins and NAD, cellular efficiency. There's a nonprofit that is spending more than $6 million, and the aim is to make 90 the new 50 in the next 10 years. So one of the things, and these are world-class scientists. These are people that they don't even let out in public because they're too smart. They can't even carry on conversations unless they're speaking in words that are this long. And I'm being facetious, but these are brilliant, brilliant people that are studying the human genome, which was fully mapped almost 17 years ago. And they're coming up with ways of biohacking it. And this is something I wanted to close with this, that when we were at the Red Carpet Experience, one of the guys, Gavin, asked Darren Jensen, our CEO, about why he's here and what he feels about the future of LifeVantage. And he says, well, we're in the age of biohacking. And our name is biohacking. And he says, just think about it. Bio means life. Our company is LifeVantage. Hacking is figuring out an advantage or a more efficient way. He said, so since the beginning of our company, we've always been biohackers. It's inherent in our name.
Before we even knew it.
LifeVantage is biohacking. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I never hear that before? It was just such a perfect explanation of Darren and why he is so bought into where we are as a company, where he is at the head of our company, and what our future is in the world when we've got things like the 7th annual Biohacking Conference and the 6th annual Biohacker Summit happening in Europe and here, and thought leaders and people that are influential in this space, scientists, researchers, doctors, authors, speakers, biohackers, are descending to come together to help each other be more profound in this. And we, as a company, are one of the first companies to ever talk about biohacking and nutrigenomics, but we are at the forefront of nutrigenomics because we are, to date, we are the only company in the network marketing space or in the private sector or anywhere that has something so profound as the Protandem Tri-Synergizer, where we are affecting all 3 of the most common theories of aging at the same time, at not the cellular level, not even the subcellular level, at the DNA level, the genetic level. And we are making a profound difference, and it's not a pharmaceutical, and it's not killing anybody. It is biohacking the aging code. And when people who don't know anything about our company are saying, we will live, the first person to live to 1,000 has already been born. And in the next 10 years, we're going to make, not we, the world, the geneticists, the gerontologists are going to make 90 the new 50 in the next 10 years. So put all of that where we are as a company, where you are in this company, where we are positioned, the only company that has science. So it's not testimonial driven, it's science driven, at the right place, at the right time, where we have something that no one else has. That, guys, is the winning formula. And after reading this book and listening to Ryan, listening to Darren, diving into what I already know, putting it all together, it's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle when there's like 1,000-piece puzzle and you can't, and it's like, seems like it'll never end. And then you put that last one in and you sit back and look at what you've done and how amazing it is. That's the vantage point we all have right now. So I'm hoping you guys look at all of these different things that we've been talking about here, tune into some of these podcasts, read these books, because they have nothing to do with our company, but everything to do with validating what we do as a company, but more importantly than what we do, why we do what we do, and we're doing it together, and we're going to change the world together. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a deeper understanding now of how very fortunate we are to be where we are and be doing what we're doing right now at this time.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say about this is, you guys know what all of these things have in common: books, education, conferences, podcasts. They're all talking about biohacking. Now I just have to ask you, are you?
Right. It's the language.
Because we're the only ones that have this in our hands. It's time to get out and talk more loudly about it. So we're so excited that you guys were here to be part of this and to see this information. We give you the opportunity every single Tuesday night to invite people to learn more about what biohacking is. It's time for you to open your mouths and start inviting. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, every Tuesday night, we have a live opportunity overview at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 Pacific, and you can figure out all the rest of the time zones there. And it's always the same Zoom ID number as well. It will be going out in your email as well as on several Facebook pages. So guys, get inviting because we seriously are at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Right here at LifeVantage, which means biohacking.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks, guys.